Yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ MV.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Tuesday.
This studio is filthy.
Don't you talk. We don't know where you've been. That's why I'm keeping my mask on the whole time. We don't know where Angela Yee
This
been.
mic is falling apart. There's dust and dirt everywhere.
Well, welcome back. How about that?
Angela Yee just floats in here. We don't know where she been. I seen her with a T-shirt on that said COVID Poom Poom. Okay?
That was at Dave Chappelle's summer camp.
Well, I don't know when that was. I just saw the shirt. I'm like, oh no.
You know how many people hit me up in my DMs asking where can they buy that shirt?
Oh, I thought they hit you up trying to get some COVID Poom Poom.
It was a custom shirt that I designed.
I tell you what, young ladies, you walk around with that COVID Poom Poom shirt, okay? They're gonna put that swab somewhere you don't want it. God dang it. All right?
That's right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
You know, fellas, women, you ever been in a relationship with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and it gets nasty, right?
What do you mean it gets nasty?
Like y'all get into an argument or they feel a certain way, and they say they leaving, but you don't believe me. Like, you're not leaving.
Hey, Gia threatened to leave you already?
Damn.
They said reality shows is what make couples break up. Y'all was just on for 30 minutes. What happened? What happened, bro?
Why is everything a joke?
It's not a joke. I want to know what happened.
All right. Well, a good personal friend of mine, Leonard McKelvey, said he was leaving. He said, I'm not coming back. I don't know if I'm coming back.
Where?
Then I happened to read the paper, and it says Charlamagne re-signed for another 5 years. Bay ain't going nowhere. Wow. Come give me a hug, Bay. I'm going to put my mask on for this one. Give him a bomb.
First of all, address me properly.
Can I give him my hug?
Okay.
Oh, and you got...
Hug me from the back.
Ooh, and he got an Emmy with him today.
Hug me from the back.
He got an Emmy with him today.
Listen,
Ray is here for 5 more years.
Okay.
Woo!
And address me.
Ray is here for 5 years.
Address me.
See, that's why I don't like
address
you
me properly.
Okay. I'm leaving. I ain't going to...
I know you didn't believe that.
Address me. Why not?
I'm
all right.
I'm leaving.
It's a great strategy, though.
All right.
I'm leaving. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not here. Y'all have fun.
Listen.
After this COVID is, I'm gone. Oh, yeah? Bay couldn't leave me.
Listen.
Tell me.
WWPR-FM.
I'm also Senior Creative Officer of Cultural Content and Programming. Okay? So don't get fired. Oh, it's funny? Oh, it's a game? Oh, okay. All right.
Well, you gonna write me up on that flirting you doing me?
I might.
Right.
I'm an executive now. You got to be easy of how you talk to me. All right, I gave you permission to hug me from the back.
Oh, you gonna give me permission to hug you from the back?
You be easy.
All right.
How you talk to your senior executive in this
there
company,
you go.
okay?
Well, congratulations. And you're walking around with an Emmy. You got an Emmy with you?
Hey, where'd that come from?
Actually, I bought this because it just came in the mail yesterday because I got it for, I was an executive producer on While I Breathe I Hope, which was the Bakari Sellers documentary.
Correct.
So I just bought this in as a prop.
Sure, it ain't a prop. It's
mine, but
You just walk around with it all the time?
No, I bought it in today because when I shot it out, I want to be able to say, see, it's the Emmy.
Well, congratulations. Welcome for another 5 years.
What a Tuesday.
We get to see your ass for another 5 years.
First of all, don't talk to the senior executive at iHeart like that, sir. Do you not read the rule book? Do you not take your codes of conduct on how to talk to senior executives?
The party don't start till we walk in.
I'm gonna have to talk to Marion about this on HR lady. This is the way senior executives are spoke to in this company is disgusting. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get the show cracking. Zuri Hall will be joining us this morning.
Yes, Zuri Hall is a longtime friend of mine. She's got a podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network called Hot Happy Mess. And we're going to talk to Zuri about her journey.
Are you really going to wear that mask the whole morning?
I don't know where Angela Yee has been, bro.
All I know is this studio is a pig pen and disgusting.
It's always been like this. I don't know where you've been. It's always been like this.
Do y'all know there's a pandemic going on? Y'all can't clean up? Ugh.
Don't talk to us about pandemic, Miss COVID Poom Poom. All right, somebody post a picture, Nick, of Angela Yee with the COVID Poom Poom shirt on, please.
My goodness. All right, we'll get the show cracking. Let's go. Front page news is next. DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, I don't know how they won last night, but the Washington football team beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-17.
It was a lot of upsets. It was clearly, God shining on the NFC East this week because the Giants pulled a win out of their ass, and then the Redskins pulled a win out of their ass. Hopefully the Cowboys can do it tonight.
I doubt it.
Don't we play tonight?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we play tonight.
Now, the Bills beat the 49ers last night, 34-24. What else we got, Yee?
Well, NBA players are banned from going to bars, clubs, and all of that in the new COVID-19 guidelines. So they also have to leave hotels for dining only if they eat outside at restaurants in private rooms or NBA-approved restaurants. And they also might conduct unannounced in-person inspections of team facilities to keep track of whether teams are compliant with the safety protocols of COVID-19. So no going to bars, no lounges, no clubs, no live entertainment or game venues, public gyms, spas, public pools, or larger indoor events of more than 15 individuals when at home.
Makes sense.
Right.
Protect the players.
All right. Now, the first people in the UK have been the first Western nation to begin vaccinating its citizens. They did a COVID-19 shot outside of clinical trials, which is a landmark moment. The first Briton to get the Pfizer vaccine is 90-year-old Margaret Keenan. She got the first of 2 doses, and this happened at University Hospital in Coventry at 6:31 a.m. today. So then you have to wait 3 weeks to get the second one because the vaccine requires 2 doses.
So what happens in those 3 weeks?
They did say that there can be some side effects. If you guys remember when we discussed this previously, it kind of feels like COVID a little bit. And then and they said some people have to understand you have to know about the side effects because they don't want you to not come back to get that second shot. So they did have to warn people that you might feel a little bit sick, maybe.
Yeah, they said you got to get a second shot. They said the first person got it overseas. In Britain, she got her shot yesterday. So.
She just said that, fool.
I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
I'm glad you're honest.
Well, I wasn't paying attention.
I'm glad you're honest. Drop one of the clues bombs for DJ
Thanks, Envy.
and honest.
I wasn't paying attention.
Front page news featuring DJ Envy.
The guy's wearing a mask over his ears, but he's honest about it.
I wasn't paying attention. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, thank you. I work hard. MSNBC is getting a new president, and she will be the first black person to run a major cable news network, Rashida Jones.
What school did she go to?
She went to Hampton.
Sure did. Hampton University.
Yes, so she's the first president of the network. That's going to start on February 1st. The Wall Street Journal first reported this news. So congratulations to her.
Dropping the clues bombs for Rashida Jones. Mm-hmm. He's replacing Phil Griffin.
Yep.
Phil's a good guy, but, I'm glad to see Rashida in that position.
Yeah, and I was actually reading while she was talking. They said that they might be shutting New York City down, indoor dining, and I was seeing if they were doing the same for Jersey, which will affect a lot of businesses. So Governor Murphy said that he's not thinking about shutting it down right now unless they see that the cases actually rise from the indoor dining.
Yeah, they said in New York it could be in the next 5 days that could be happening.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
I mean, outdoor dining isn't really outdoor dining because all they do is build stuff.
Put a tent around it anyway.
That looks like, they build stuff outside just for you to sit in, and it's weird. I'm like, why? It's the same thing. It's still an enclosed space.
Yeah, it's gonna, if they decide to close New York City down and those businesses like they did LA or like they did Newark, a lot of those businesses won't be able to come back because they still have to pay rent. They're still trying to pay their staff. I just pray for those small businesses. The bigger businesses, they'll get big loans, they'll get big grants, they'll get money from the government, but a lot of those small businesses will never be able to survive. A lot of your favorite restaurants, a lot of your favorite stores. It's a tough one.
That's why the government is trash because, they could put out stimulus checks or give small business loans to keep these people afloat, but they're not.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I saw something yesterday. It was like billions, almost trillions of dollars, and only like 6% went to actual small businesses or something like that in this bailout. Or maybe less than that. I don't even know if it's 6%.
Which ain't fair. All right. Well, that is your front page news. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. This
Calvin from Trenton, New Jersey. What's good? Envy, Charlamagne. This is Angela Lee. How y'all doing?
Good,
congratulations, Charlamagne.
Thank you, King.
Calvin, what's up? Get it off your chest, brother.
Yeah, real quick. First of all, let me give y'all all the props, man. Hands down. Y'all doing y'all thing. I salute everything y'all doing. Keep up the good work, man. Keep it moving. Real quick, Envy. Me and my wife been looking for a house. Not trying to be ignorant, but we don't have much. We only have like $15,000 saved up right now. But I don't know the right channels, the right grants I can get, so I won't get railroaded or I won't get, for lack of a better word, bamboozled. So best thing I could have done since I've been listening was trying to get you to help me see what I can do to get this thing moving.
Have you found a property yet, and how's your credit?
My wife's credit is like high, like 770, 760. Mine is like only Well, my FICO score is 701, 706, and 698.
All right, I'm going to put you with my guy, Matt, because as long as your credit score is that high, you can get an FHA loan, which allows you to put between 3 and 3.5% down. So depending on the price of the house, for instance, if it's a $300,000 house, I don't know how much money you have, you might have to put 10 to 15,000, and there's a bunch of grants out there that'll help you out a lot of times and even help you with the closing costs. I don't know them personally, but
we have 15,000, but I could come up with an additional 5 if I needed to.
Oh, okay. Well, you got enough. It just depends on what size and how much you want to spend on the property. So let's say in a property between 250 and 300, you're gonna be looking to put down about 15 grand, maybe a little more.
Oh, we got that.
Okay.
We got that.
Well, now you just got to find a property. You want to stay in Trenton? You want to move up here closer to the city?
Actually, we live in I want to actually a little bit in my area, Metro Mercer County area. I don't mind Lawrence Township, Princeton, Pemberton, stuff like that. I don't want to go too far up north because I drive trucks.
I got you.
And I want to make sure I'm close to. I don't want to do that regional work and not be a father to my children.
I got you. Well, hold on, stay on the line. I'll put you with my guy Matt, and hopefully he can help you out. Matt he's been doing a lot for a lot of people these last couple of weeks. So I don't know what his schedule looks like, but I'll see if I can get you in there, brother.
Good looking.
All right, hold on, okay?
Heard you.
Hello, who's this?
What's up, man? There's no name right here.
No name. Is that your way of saying you're anonymous?
Or you're a rapper?
Yeah, that's the name.
There's already a rapper named No Name. She's a young lady, too.
Okay. Oh, stop it.
That's a fact.
Man.
You a rapper?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Spit, brother.
All right. What you mean, dog? You ain't never cooked Ross. What you mean, dog? You ain't never hit the block. What you mean, dog? You ain't never had a Glock. You ain't never seen a nigga get shot. What the look?
That's not a bad hook.
For real, I used to look around for
Stop lying. You're a liar. You're a liar. You've always been a liar. You've never shot a gun in your life. All right?
That's so much
never
cursing,
sold
though.
any dope. Stop it.
Which
is all good things, by the way.
You can tell a New Yorker from
Envy, man. Yo, man, shout out to DJ Envy, man. Yo, DJ Envy actually played the song I requested yesterday, man. Yo,
what song was that?
Yo, thanks for that. What happened?
Oh, Jiggle What?
Yeah, Jiggle What, Jiggle Who, man. That was like the first joint at the top of the People's Choice list. I was like, oh, snap. I was like, mad surprised.
That's dope.
Man.
I'm glad that he finally played a request for somebody after 10 years
of
doing something called the People's Choice Mix.
I played it for you, now you still itch on me. I'm glad I played it for you, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I really want to tell you I really did appreciate that, man. And shout out to Angela E. I'm glad you're back in the studio because, you know, we tired of, like, you going in and out or whatever. Come to work.
Well, get ready for no out.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Janae.
Hey, Janae. Where you calling from?
In Brockton.
Hey, get it off your chest.
Brockton, Massachusetts, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Janae.
So excuse me, I'm sorry.
I said good morning.
Oh, good morning, everybody in there. So last week you guys had, I want to say her name is Lynn Whitfield. Dr. Lynn Whitfield. Is that her name?
No, Lynn, what's Lynn's last
Lynn Whitfield's
name?
an actor.
Dr. Lynn Richardson.
Thin line between love and hate.
Oh, she was encouraging people to, like, invest in their 401ks, I believe. That's what I heard. Mm-hmm. I'm a financial therapist myself. A lot of people don't know that 401ks are like a secret partnership with the government. And the government's never our friend. So we've been helping people roll their money over from 401ks because when COVID hit, a lot of people took massive hits into their plans. And a lot of people don't know what they're investing into when they do it. But I don't know if she knows that because we've been educating people who've been in business for like 30 plus years, lost a few businesses due to COVID, but now we're like saving them so that they can cover all their I call it CYAA, cover your ass and your assets.
Mm-hmm.
Cover your, what did you say? Cover your assets and eat your assets. That sounds wild.
Now, I want to...
your ass and your assets.
I have a financial question about that then, because I know a lot of times people encourage you to invest in the 401k because if your company doesn't match. And then the second question I have, is it a good idea to take that money out when it's down?
So there's 4 tanks of life, and that's what we go around and teach people, because there's a 4th tank. There's a lifetime income take where you can, we make a lot of money in our lifetime just by graduating from college and whatever the case may be. So, yeah, the match is good. We always tell people do the match. Don't go above your match because you're pretty much giving free money to the government. Mm-hmm. And the tax frame right now is like, 30%, 37%, I believe. So if they want to take 50%, they can, and there's nothing you can do. So people, depending on how much is in your 401k, you can roll it over and take no hit. That's called a 1035 exchange. So you can move that over there, and then you don't get penalized.
Thank you.
Damn, Evie.
Damn, if you just hung up on her? What?
No, put her on hold.
I think you hung up on her because
wow.
You don't want her competing with Lynn Richardson.
I think Lynn Richardson was kind of wrong in some of the things she said. But
okay.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Isaiah from Maryland.
Hi, Isaiah from
Maryland.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Blessed, black, and highly favored. What's happening?
What's going on?
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you all for 10 years. Especially like you three and also like all of your crew. This is a great job, and thank you for doing everything that you do. Also, I wanted to ask Envy about real estate. Like, how did you get into it? And like, what made you want to do that?
I wanted to get out of my mama's house. My dad's a police officer. He's a retired police officer, and his rules were very strict, and I wanted to get out. So I saved my money, and I bought a house that was like an hour and 40 minutes from my job, but at least I had a home. And after falling asleep a couple of times driving home, I decided to sell a house after like 4 or 5 months. And when I sold the house, I made like $100,000 in those 4 or 5 months. And then I just started buying houses and flipping them.
I'm sorry, what about you?
How did I get into real estate? I mean, I first bought my first house like 6.5 years ago, a 2-family house, so that I would have some income coming in to help pay the mortgage. Then I bought 3 different properties in Detroit, and then I bought a couple more properties in Brooklyn as investments.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Yeah, well, now's the time. I bought my first home at 22 years old. I bought my first property at 22.
Thank you.
And now's the time because money is cheap.
I wanted to thank.
So now's the time. Money is cheap. That means the interest rates are very low. It's the lowest we've ever seen. It's like 2.7. You can even get 2.6, between 2.6 and 2.8. So that means money is low. That means they're not charging that much interest. All right,
also, I wanted to thank Charlamagne for sending me his book last week, and I wanted to ask Envy, why you got to air out people all the time?
What, I air out people?
Because he's a snitch. That's what snitches do.
All right, well, thank you guys for accepting my call. I love you all.
Yes, sir. I love you too, brother.
The real reason is Charlamagne told 6ix9ine he would do something to him. So I'm hoping that Charlamagne one day say he'll do that to me. That's why I'm going to keep snitching.
No, what I did with 6ix9ine was called hyperbole, sir.
Thank you.
Okay?
Can't hear you. I want to play with Houston. I thought he was trying to get traded.
If you skip practice to go to the script club, you trying your hardest to catch COVID.
My goodness. All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Rumors on the way, so don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Wendy Williams.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report.
Talk to him.
With Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, Wendy Williams confirmed yesterday during the Wendy Williams show that her mother, Shirley Williams, did pass away beautifully and peacefully. Mm-hmm. Here's what she said.
Attention to all of my bosses. I am wearing very long shorts underneath. It's just that in the name of my mother, because my mother, she's like, Wendy, you got them. They're long. You show them. She also talked me into picking out this outfit today. She's also died. My mom passed away many weeks ago. She passed away beautiful and peacefully.
Rest in peace to Miss Shirley.
Absolutely. Her mom has been on the show several times, so we've seen her mom. That's
condolences to the whole Williams family.
Absolutely.
All right. A nightclub in Ohio was cited for violating COVID-19 health orders. They said there were about 500 people there attending an indoor Trey Songz concert. So now they have been cited. They said the venue had no physical barriers in place to encourage social distancing. Most employees and patrons were not wearing masks, according to a statement.
It was a Trey Songz show for real? Mm-hmm. I saw him trending this morning. That's what he was trending for?
I guess so. And in addition to this, let's talk about James Harden. Now, he missed practice on Sunday, and they said that was because of COVID-19 protocols. They did expect him to be doing an individual workout in the evening, but there was a video that emerged over the weekend that shows James Harden allegedly at a strip club.
If he gets COVID, he earned it.
Right. He also was spotted at Little Baby's birthday party where he gave him $100,000 cash. He gave him a watch. And the head coach had this to say about him not being at practice. He did not attend. They said he is expected to participate in an individual workout later tonight. They said that the NBA coronavirus protocol prevented him from joining the team's first group practice. And the coach said, I want him here and I want him to be a big part of what we're doing.
Yeah, I love strip clubs, but I don't think that's essential. That's an essential gathering spot during a time like this.
I think he wants to be traded. I don't think he cares anymore.
But even you're not showing that you're responsible if you leave practice to go to a damn strip club.
I don't think he
in
cares.
the middle of a pandemic.
I just don't think he wants to be there.
Jesus,
that's what it seems like.
Now there's a premium platform for adult models called Is My Girl, and over the weekend they are saying that they want to help out with James Harden so he can stay out of the strip club, but perhaps be on this website and partner with them to help keep players away from strip clubs and Instagram models. So they're saying that use the website instead of going to the strip club.
Yeah, his beard looks like he's wearing his mask around his chin anyway. Drop on the clues bonds for James Harden. Okay.
All right.
Get it together, my guy.
I'm Angela Yee, and that is your rumor report.
All right. We got front page news next. What are we talking about?
We are going to address a story that we had discussed, and I saw attorney Ben Crump post this at first, and this was about Casey Goodson Jr. in Columbus, Ohio. He was shot and killed entering his own home by police officer Meade, and his mother, Tamala Payne, and her attorney, Sean Walton, will be joining us to discuss the case and give us the details that we may not know and put everything together. And we want to make sure we amplify her story and help her get justice for her son, who was only 23 years old.
All right. Front page news is next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now in sports, surprisingly, the Washington football team beat the Steelers 23-17, and the Buffalo Bills beat the 49ers 34-24. What else we got, E?
But the newly elected Los Angeles County District Attorney, George Gascon, has announced some criminal justice reform plans as he was sworn into office. So now his agenda is ending cash bail for certain minor offenses, the death penalty, no more death penalty, and the practice of charging juveniles as adults. So that seems like some big, great changes. He said these are changes that will enable us to actually affect the truly vulnerable.
I also think DJ Envy is so disrespectful because he said nothing about my Dallas Cowboys playing the Baltimore Ravens today. Okay?
Nobody cares about
at 8:05 p.m. tonight.
Nobody cares about that Cowgirls.
You're so disrespectful.
Nobody cares about them.
First of all, watch how you talk to a senior executive at iHeart. Okay?
Oh, my goodness.
All right?
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Nobody cares about them damn Cowgirls.
Don't you raise your voice at the senior executive at iHeart. Okay?
I hate this guy.
Right?
All right, now, and this is such a huge story today. The United Kingdom has become the first Western nation to start vaccinating its citizens with a COVID-19 shot that is not a clinical trial. So 90-year-old Margaret Keenan is the first person who got the first of 2 doses, and that happened this morning. Are y'all planning to take this vaccine?
No, not first. You know what I mean? I'll wait a while. I'll let y'all go first, work the bugs out.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take it, but I mean, I got time because they're gonna do the healthcare workers first. They're gonna do the elderly first, and then they'll do essential workers, and then me. But by that time, yes, I'll take it.
Even though I was talking to one of my OGs, and one of my OGs said to me, "Hell, you eat Fruit Loops. You don't know what the hell's in Fruit Loops, but you eat that every morning."
Okay.
Kind of had a point. Salute to Chris Rock.
All right. Now, President-elect Joe Biden has selected Army General Lloyd Austin, retired Army General Lloyd Austin, the former commander of U.S. Central Command, to be his Secretary of Defense. Now, if this gets confirmed by the Senate, he would be the first black man to lead the Department of Defense.
Boy, I know the MAGA crowd don't like that one. A black man leading the military? Lord have mercy. That is going to make MAGA people's heads explode. Yeah. My God.
Now, listen, the U.S. has reported its highest number of COVID-19 deaths in a week since April. So the United States is nearing 15 million reported COVID-19 infections. It's adding case numbers at its fastest rate ever. And they're trying to ramp up vaccine protocols as well. So, and, you know, a lot of people are saying this is due to the holidays, people gathering together for the holidays. You know, we have more holidays coming up. So just warning everybody, you got to be careful.
Now, what's the guy's name again that's in head of the military? What's his name?
His name is, I think, Lloyd Austin.
Lloyd Austin. Now, do we give MAGA people permission to call him the HNIC in regard to the military?
No, they still can't use the N-word. They can't still use the N-word. Okay. But he is the head in charge.
Can they say Negro?
No.
It's a Negro in charge of the military. What is America coming to?
All right. Now, Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order today that's aimed at prioritizing the shipment of the coronavirus vaccine to Americans before other nations, according to these senior administration officials.
Huh?
Yes.
But
he's still the
UK,
president.
But didn't the UK just do it?
I mean, yeah, but I guess he wants us to be prioritized. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. But yes, gotta still have your name out there. He still has a job to do, right?
Oh, yes, he does till January. That's why, everybody look alive. We're not out of the woods yet.
All right. Well, that is your front page news.
All right. Thank you, Miss Yee. Now when we come back, we reported the story yesterday in front page news about, Casey, I believe his name is Payne. Casey Payne.
No, Casey Goodson.
Casey Goodson. He was killed by police. And when we come back, we're going to have his mom, Tamala Payne, and her attorney, Sean Walton, talk about the case, what's happening, and give it some light. So
and very, very important to, tell our listeners, brace yourself for trauma.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Brace yourself for trauma.
But it's an important story, and I tell everybody, if you have people around you that aren't listening right now, tell everybody to turn on their radio and hear this, because this is so important, and we really need you to hear the story of what's happening, and we need you guys to be active.
Just brace yourself for the trauma. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
All right. Tamala Payne and attorney Sean Walton. When we come back, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have some special guests joining us this morning.
Some guests I wish we weren't interviewing under these circumstances.
Absolutely. About a situation which we'll let them explain. We have Tamala Payne and attorney Sean Walton on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
We reported a story yesterday, and we also seen, I believe, a family member called in yesterday morning, and when we tried to click to the call, I believe the phone got disconnected or they hung up. So tell us what's going on and what happened.
Again, thanks for having us. I mean, we understand this platform and this opportunity to tell, Casey's story. And, we don't take that for granted. Obviously, in the news, the police has put out a narrative that Casey drove by waving a gun. And, it doesn't make sense, right? As a black man in America in 2020, that just doesn't happen. And so that was already a cause for concern. But what they didn't tell us was that Casey was actually executed walking inside of his home. And so that's something that obviously, would have made this immediately a national news story. What happened was that Casey woke up that morning. He had a dentist appointment. He went to the dentist, normal Friday. And, from that point, he headed home, stopped at Subway, grabbed 3 sandwiches, one for himself and a couple for his family. And at that point, he parked in front of his house, walked across his yard, started to go into his side door. And at some point, as that side door was open, there was an altercation with the deputy. And by altercation, I mean the family heard 3 gunshots and saw Casey fall into his kitchen. And at that point, his toddler brother, his 5-year-old brother, started screaming. His 3-year-old cousin started screaming. And his 72-year-old grandmother came into the kitchen and saw her baby on the kitchen floor in a pool of blood with Subway lying next to him. And so that's the story, that a man was executed walking into his own home. It was not that a man was waving a gun. And it's important to note that since that initial story, that police account has changed. It's now that he was witnessed with a gun. Right. And so we have a case where a black man with a concealed carry permit in a state that allows you to openly carry a weapon was witnessed with a gun and was executed walking into his own home. And that's all that we have at this point, because that deputy, Jason Meade, has not made any statement about exactly what happened and what he did.
So did he have a gun? Did they find a gun, or there was no weapon?
They said that they found a weapon, and that wouldn't be a surprise to the family because Casey was very passionate about guns, and he took the step of getting his concealed carry permit. But he also, at the same time, I was very adamant with his family about, gun safety and never having a gun illegally. So they say that they recovered a gun, but all the family saw was the Subway there and Casey on the floor, dying.
Did they also say that he was not the person that they were looking for? I remember reading that somewhere.
Exactly, and so that deputy was there for some fugitive task force, but Casey never had any encounters with the law. Casey was not a suspect in any way. And they did clarify that from the beginning. So it's not a situation where there was a mistaken identity. This was flat out an execution of an innocent man walking into his home after a dentist appointment.
And he was shot in the back.
Yeah, that's our belief. Unfortunately, we have not had any access to the body. Casey's family has not been able to see Casey since this incident. But, what we do know is that Casey's keys were still in the door. Casey, he had a Mickey Mouse emblem on those keys, and those keys were hanging in the door even after the shooting. And so, he's walking in. There are 3 bullet holes in this metal screen door. And, what we know is that this was an execution, and this should not have happened in any way, shape, or form.
Hold on, Sean. Tamala, we got to send you positive energy, love, and healing energy right now, because I see you going through it. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
Right. And I know this is very brave and strong for you to even be able to come on our platform. But we do want to make sure that there is some sort of accountability or justice and anything that we can do to bring light and attention to what happened unjustly to your son. We want to make sure that we do that and make people aware of what happened.
And by the way, you look like you could be his sister. You look super young.
He was my twin. He was my twin.
Wow.
And I saw originally the cops were trying to say that he was in his car,
Yeah, and that part really frustrated me, and I think that's important. I mean, I'm not saying that that the fix is in, but the cover up is definitely in motion, because from the very beginning, the statement that was put out was that he was shot after exiting his vehicle, and that's just not the case. He died on his kitchen floor, and it was yards away. I mean, he parked on the street. It wasn't a driveway. He had to walk across his yard.
He had to walk across the neighbor's yard, and then across his yard, and into the back gate. It was in the door, and was able to open the door. I mean, we fell in the house, shot to death in front of my mother, my 5-year-old son. My 5-year-old son is the one who called me screaming, "Mommy, the police just shot Casey. He's dead. Please, I'm so scared. Hurry up. Come get me, Mommy. Get here. Get here, Mommy." I just dropped him off over there because I was on my way to my second job.
Whole family traumatized. Now, how was your the grandmother at the moment?
That night, she passed out and hit her head and fell down my steps. And she just got out the hospital. She broke her collarbone. I mean, we are shattered. Mom, I gave birth to Casey when I was 16 years old. He was the only baby in the family, so he became everybody's baby. It took a village. I was a baby when I had him. And so my parents, my sister, everybody was a big part of his upbringing. He didn't have a father. So my dad was his father. And my dad passed almost 3 years ago. So he was our baby. He was our baby. So we are, you see this. And I see mothers and my heart breaks, but you never, ever imagine I'm a single mother of 10 children. I raise my kids by myself. We don't count on the government for assistance. I work my butt off. They are very, very well taken care of. Casey was my rock. He was the big brother, so he helped with everything. Like, I just gave birth to twins December 28th of last year. They were 2 months early. And Casey had just got him home. He had a CDL license. And he had a contract with Walmart. He was driving cross country in California for 6 months. And he came home for Christmas. And then I had went to early labor. I had the twins 2 months early. So yeah, he was there. And when they took me into the operating room, he was right by my side.
Take your time.
It's all right.
Take your time.
Casey had to leave and go back out on the trucks. But he couldn't leave me at home by myself with them twins in the NICU. And he came home and he stayed home. So he could help.
He sounds amazing.
My son was more than amazing. He did not deserve this. I didn't raise them to be in the streets. They was not raised like that. They are not in the streets. He's never been in trouble in his life. Everything he did was legal. And his guns was legal. Every last one. He loved guns. He did. And it's so sad he died by one. But everyone was legal. He got his license first. He was big. He got pictures all over his page of his classes. He was so proud of himself. He was big on the license. He brought every one of his guns from the gun store. If he had his gun on him, it was on his hip, and I guarantee that.
All right, well, we have more with Tamala Payne and her attorney, Sean Walton, when we come back. V. Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, we're still talking to Tamala Payne and attorney Sean Walton. Her son was killed by police, and she's telling her story. Charlamagne?
So where's the NRA at a time like this? This is when the NRA is supposed to step up, right, Sean?
Exactly. You know, and I think what this story, says for this country is, what does it say that a black man can do everything right? You know, he can go and get his concealed carry permit. He can live in a state where it's legal to do that. You know, it's a constitutional right to bear arms. And so for Casey was proud of that. Casey was a gun rights advocate, but he did things the right way. And, I can say that myself as a black man, as a father and a husband, I have to question whether if I get a CCW, if I will be shot and killed because of some officer that sees me with a gun and sees a threat. And so I think this is something that we all have to rally around, across the country because, like you said, the NRA, I mean, it crosses racial lines, to the extent that we all should have a right to protect ourselves in this country. And I think it's important that, the media gets this right, because I've been asked questions like, why did Casey feel the need to have a gun permit at such a young age?
Oh, shut up.
Casey, and I promise. And so Casey was 23 years old. I mean, that's like asking why, somebody driving a car has a driver's license, because I can legally do that at that age.
It's my legally right. It's my legal right.
Exactly. And so, it's not about what Casey did at this point, because Casey did nothing.
Right.
Casey went to the dentist to get his teeth cleaned. Casey went and got Subway for himself and for his family. Casey did everything right. And so he's still at that point, after doing everything right, after being hardworking and being, just passionate about his family and about this world, he was gunned down in his own home. And so we need justice for Casey.
The only threat my son was being a black man.
That's it.
America. That's the only threat my son was. My son would not hurt a fly. My son, if I killed a bug, he'd be like, Mom, quit. Like, he loved snakes. He loved animals. He just loved life. He was a nature. If you watch if y'all on my page, y'all see some of the videos posted. He got his siblings and they're out taking nature walks. And
Sean, is it true that the state turned down taking over the investigation?
That's true. And that's important to note, because what happened was that the Franklin County Sheriff's Office initially, was involved with this shooting. It was a sheriff's deputy, and they turned that investigation over to the Columbus Police. But in 2020, the Columbus Police have turned over their own investigations to the state police because of so many issues with those investigations. And so 3 days passed before Columbus asked the state police to come in. And they said at that point, we don't know what happened to the scene. We don't know where these witnesses have gone. We can't, come into this. We also don't know why you're asking us to come in. And so there are so many questions raised at this point, and the investigation at this point is tainted. And so they're going to have to take serious steps in order to ensure justice for Casey. And, it's important to note that the U.S. Marshal that was leading this task force on Friday, the day of the shooting, he said that he believes that it's justified. But all he said was that Casey was shot after exiting his vehicle and that things went badly. And that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face to Casey's family and to this country, that you can take the life of a black man in his own home, lie about that, and tell us that it happened after he exited his vehicle. And that statement is enough to have us remain patient and to allow this quote unquote investigation to play out. We can't remain patient because at this point, every day that passes is a day that justice is denied for Casey and for black people in this country. And so, Charlamagne, you asked how can the family be supported? Jason Meade to this point has not made a statement about what took place that day. There are no eyewitnesses that we know of, but Jason Meade was there. And as an officer that is sworn to protect and serve, I see no reason why he can't come out about what caused him to take the life of Casey on Friday, December 4th.
And there's no body camera footage. I know they said that they're not required to wear body cameras. Does Meade have a history of doing things like this? What is his history like as a police officer?
So we're still waiting on his full personnel file, but we do know that he was involved in a shooting back in 2018. I don't know the facts of that shooting, but it's not his first shooting. And he was a SWAT officer, is my understanding. And, they take a violent approach. They deal with violent fugitives. But what you cannot do is you cannot view a black man with a gun as violent or a suspect or a fugitive simply because he has a gun. If that's all right in this country, we cannot be executed for simply exercising that right.
Was the officer black or white?
White.
All right.
What's the call to action, Tamala and Sean?
I want murder charges. If it was my son, he'd be in jail right now in murder charges. If it was me, I would be sitting in jail with murder charges. My son was executed coming into his home. He laid on the kitchen floor, dying in front of his 5-year-old brother, my 72-year-old mother, and a whole slew of family members. We want justice. If it was any one of us, we would be in jail today trying to pay a bond if we had one. That man needs to be charged. He needs to be prosecuted. He needs to be fired. His bag needs to be taken. And we need some type of police reform. And this got to stop. This got to stop.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And Tamala, you have my info. My line is open to you.
Yeah, I want to connect
Anything
you.
that I could do for you, always just hit me up. Let me know. We will always keep people updated on what's happening, whatever we can do to help and amplify this story. Just know we are all in.
Yeah, we need to connect Tamala with the mothers of the movement. You know what I'm saying? Because she need that kind of support group around her right now. She need that kind of village loving up on her right now. So you need to connect her with Sabrina Fulton and the other mothers of the movement.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tamala Payne and Sean Walton. Appreciate you. And like you said, we're here for you anytime you need us. This platform is here for you. So if you need it, you give us a call. And thank you so much for checking in this morning.
Thank y'all. Sending you healing energy, Tamala.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Love.
All righty. All right. Well, thank you, Tamala Payne and attorney Sean Walton for joining us. When we come back, we got rumors, so don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ Envy went to go do something real fast. We're celebrating 10 years,
He went to
Angela
move
Yee.
his car.
He went to move his car. We're celebrating 10 years, Angela Yee.
10.
You've been on this radio for 10 years. Drop on the clues bonds to the damn Breakfast Club. DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne the God. Okay.
You know, the holidays is a great time around the holidays, it's a great time to start a new job. When I worked at Sirius, I started right before Thanksgiving, cause you start working but then you get vacation.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
I think our first official day was December 6th, but I think we did 2 mock shows prior to that, like right before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. But we're flashing back all week long to, various Breakfast Club moments. This is one of my favorite moments. This is the first time we interviewed Cardi B. This is Cardi B before, the music. This is Cardi B before TV. Everything. This one, Cardi B was just on social media, and she did have a song called Cheap Ass Weave. As a matter of fact, I think she had just dropped Gangsta Bitch Volume 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, she wasn't on Love and Hip Hop yet?
Mm-mm. I think she just was starting. Cause wasn't her and Self up here
Yeah, that was for Love and Hip Hop.
That was before it aired. So that was before Love and Hip Hop,
I was like,
right?
I know she was on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah. What year was this? 2014? 2013, 2014? I don't know. All I know is we were the first people to play Cardi B's music on the radio, and it was a song called Cheap Ass Weave. Play the clip.
You gonna get a prenup?
Cause you're gonna have a lot of money in a couple years, Cardi.
Yeah.
If you play your cards right, you can really pimp this whole situation the right way.
I can. I do my thing the smart way and whatever.
Now, what about your career as an artist as well?
Yeah.
I love Cheap Ass Weave. We about to play Cheap Ass Weave.
Introduce Cheap Ass Weave right fast.
Hey, yo, there's Cardi B, and there's my track. It's called Cheap Ass Weave.
And they gonna tell them they gonna love it forever.
Y'all gonna love it forever.
We ain't playing none of the goddamn song? Oh, I thought you were gonna let some of Cheap Ass Weave fly. Okay, yes, that was from, December 15th, 2015. What's today's date?
Today is December 8th.
Oh, okay.
2020.
Yeah, so it's right around the same time. Yeah, December 15th, 2015 was when Cardi was first up here. Hey, we got a rumor report coming up here?
Yes, we do. And we are going to talk about Jhené Aiko, and she says why she does not use the N-word in her music anymore.
That answer should be easy. We'll talk about it It's the Breakfast Club. I gotta take this mask off. I don't trust Angela Yee. I don't know where she been, but let me take it off for a second.
No, leave it on. Actually, the mask is to protect me from you.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
But
leave it on.
Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. Y'all know what DJ Envy is. It's time to get in the rumor report. We're going to talk about why Jhené Aiko loves using the N-word.
It's time.
She's spilling the tea. This is the rumor report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, Jhené Aiko says that she is not going to use the N-word in her music anymore. And she talked about it on social media. She said, I am less black than someone half black, but also less white than someone half white. And Asian is the least thing I am, LOL. So at this point, it's whatever they want me to be.
So what is she? What is Jhené Aiko?
Well, she actually posted her DNA results. Mm-hmm. She's 25% Asian, 33% African, 34% European, and that's what her results are. She said, I have a Japanese grandfather, a Creole Dominican grandmother on my mother's side. Both of my father's parents are black and white, and that's her results.
Yeah, you can't use the N-word if you got more European blood in you than you do African blood. That is just the rules. Now, she can say nig. She can say nig's gon' nig and leave it at that.
Well, anyway, she's mixed with a lot of different things. And if you see her dad, you can see her dad just looks like he's, he looks black. But a lot of us have a lot of mixed things in us. I know I do.
I am 97% West African. Drop one of Clues bombs for me, damn it. Okay? 97%. I'm blackity black.
All right. Now let's talk about JT from the City Girl. She has deleted her Twitter page. She started a new one. And that's because of some old tweets that everybody's been talking about. Now, she posted, I don't even want to read these because they're so old. I don't want to do that to her because these are from like 2011, 9 years ago. And I saw some interesting things that people were saying on social media about, a lot of people post things that are never will get the amount of light on it that these tweets from celebrities end up getting. So 9 years ago, she probably never thought she'd be City Girl JT today, but she posted, all jokes aside, stop searching them tweets because I don't feel like slapping a bitch back into the same year I was talking about them in.
Amazing clapback. Drop one of Clues bombs for that clapback. That was fantastic. I read that one. But you know how long ago 9 years is? People finish high school and college in 9 years. You know how long ago that is? 9 years? To be holding somebody accountable for that? Like, come on, man. Stop.
Now, she did post, this was a song lyric, and maybe some people didn't realize how crazy this song lyric was.
What's the song lyric?
She said, I swear I hate N-words, I should be a effing Nazi.
What song lyric was that?
That's from Dej Loaf, Try Me.
Really? That was from Try Me?
Yes.
That used to play on the radio every
why is this in
hour
the song?
on the hour?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those good little bars that slip through the cracks. Travis Scott had one too on Sicko Mode.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say the word he said.
You said it already before.
I say it all the time, but I don't want them to edit it. You know what I mean? I like when that song plays.
My goodness.
All right, now let's talk about Brandy from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. There's some audio footage that's out, and she was arguing with her boyfriend, Max Lux, real name Marcus Boyd, and they were on Instagram Live. I guess they're married. They were on Instagram Live, and the screen went black, and we could not see what was happening, but we heard this.
Never again will you see Ronnie get beat up. Gonna stop with me. Ronnie, don't call me. I'm getting beat up. You gonna disrespect me to Ronnie too, bitch? You think you're gonna disrespect me to the world, Brandy? Is that what you think? You're not! You're not!
Call 911, Brandon.
You're not!
Ladies,
You're not!
Call 911. Your sister just got in her lips.
Call himself. I'm about to you up, bitch.
Man, get the strap. What the hell? That was on live?
Yes, they were on live while this was happening, but the screen was blacked out. Now, he posted, N-words never tell me how to run my ish. We full blown with the business. You'll get scoped quick. First off, F y'all. I ain't hit nobody. You lame MFs. Second, I'll pop ish in my crib whenever the F I feel like. In my 17-year-old relationship, Ida D. I can't even read all this.
I mean, just because you've been with a woman that long don't mean that you have the right to traumatize her. And you don't have the right to put hands
awful
on her or, verbally assault her. You know
now,
what I mean?
Brandy also responded. She said, I am fine. He didn't touch me. I was choking him and fighting him. All he did was verbal abuse me back. I am sorry for going live. I did that to force us to take space knowing he wouldn't want to argue on live. Please pray for my family. The devil is attacking so strong.
Yeah, sounds like y'all need counseling. Sounds like y'all need to go sit down and talk to somebody together.
Nobody should ever talk to you like that. I was just saying in the other room when I was listening, I was like, I could never even picture my boyfriend speaking that way to me or calling me a B or none of those things.
I mean, people get caught up in their emotions, I understand, but that don't
No,
make it
that's
right.
not right. And
It's
if
not
anybody
right,
saw
but
that's
it
abusive.
happens. It happens. Like people get into arguments in relationships, and
It
it
is
happens,
not
and then
cool.
people apologize. Nobody ever says it's cool, but it does happen.
It does happen.
Sit here and say that it doesn't happen. That a lot of people haven't been in an argument with their spouse and called it a name that they didn't mean, and then a late apologize. It happens. It doesn't make it right though. It's happened before.
And by the way, if he actually sits down and listens back to himself, he would check himself. I would
That is my
think.
trigger. I don't even let people talk to me crazy ever. That to me is like the biggest red flag because you don't know what's coming after that. And so if you ever try to talk to me crazy out your mouth, that's it.
Especially in that way. That sounded wild aggressive.
Horrible, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's excusing his behavior and saying all he did was verbally and in front of a child. You had a child crying? That was sad. All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right, thank you, Miss Yee. Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to?
You know, 4 after the hour, we got to go to Staten Island. I don't want to, but we have to this morning. Okay, it's a guy named Johnny Tobacco. I think that's how
Johnny
you pronounce it.
Tobacco.
Tobacco. Is that how you pronounce
That
his
doesn't
name?
sound right.
Tobacco.
That doesn't sound right.
Tobacco. It's not Tabasco. Tobacco.
Hey, man, you went to move your car and bought food?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't-
come
we don't-
on.
We don't have no interns up here. I gotta do things right. I had to move
Oh,
my car in the
my
cold. I
goodness.
gotta get my
It's
own
crazy.
water and my own.
First of all, before you
What
leave
you
this
doing?
building, you need to ask a senior executive at iHeart, you know, if you can leave during all hours. Okay. All right.
I got an in on one, so I'm all right.
You have an in on one what?
In what?
First of all, there's no flirting with senior executives at iHeart.
Yo, after you
need
sign
to-
your new contract, you
need to
feeling
read-
yourself,
you need to read
man.
your code of
You
conduct.
feeling
You
yourself.
need to read your code of conduct. Okay.
My vagina is number one.
Wow. That's how you talk to a senior executive at iHeart? We're going to have to talk about this 4 after the hour.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club.
Donkey today for Tuesday, December 8th goes to John Tobacco. Tobacco? He is an activist, and I put activist in air quotes, in Staten Island, who held a press conference because he took offense to some of the things that my loved one, Pete Davidson, had to say on SNL this weekend. Drop on the clues bombs for Pete Davidson. Full disclosure, anybody that knows me knows Pete Davidson is my guy. That's family right there. I met Pete years ago when we both were on MTV2's Guy Code. Watched him grow from a teenager to an adult teenager. Okay? I love him. Love his mom, Amy. Drop on the clues bombs for Amy. All right? The moral of the story is that's my guy. I actually was on the phone with him last night talking about nothing. Okay? Your favorite friends are the ones that you talk to for no reason. You know, I make sure he's mentally and emotionally healthy. He makes sure I'm mentally and emotionally healthy. That's my guy. But one thing we didn't talk about last night was this. Okay. In fact, my producer Dan showed me this morning, and I actually thought it was an SNL skit. All right. First of all, my eyes aren't what they used to be in my old age. So I thought this guy's last name was Tabasco. And I was like, nobody's last name is Tabasco. What is this, Tabasco versus Pete's Red Hot? But it's not Tabasco. It's tobacco. Whatever that means. John Tobacco held a press conference over a local bar. Okay, there's a guy named Danny Presti. He's the co-owner of this bar called Max Public House in Staten Island. And Danny was arrested and released after allegedly reopening a bar in violation of state-mandated COVID-19 protocols and for also allegedly hitting a deputy with his car. Let's go to Fox News 5 for the report. No, which one is this? Let's go to ABC 7 for the news report, please.
Danny Presti determined to clear his name after being charged with, among other things, felony assault. There you see Presti running and getting in his car Sunday morning. Two men dressed in dark clothing follow men who Presti's legal team insists never identified themselves as New York City Sheriff's deputies. Presti begins to slowly move as one man steps in front of the vehicle. Then that same man holds onto the hood. Authorities maintain the men were in uniform and that during this incident, that officer suffered fractures in both legs. For the second time in a week, deputies spotted people inside Max Public House dining and drinking, which is prohibited here in the orange zone on Staten Island. But Presti declared his bar an autonomous zone and was arrested yet again Sunday morning.
Now, P. Pete Davidson was doing Weekend Update on SNL, and Pete is from Staten Island. He's the best thing to come out of Staten Island since Wu-Tang. So, of course, Pete Davidson took Danny Presti to task. I mean, come on. If we don't shame people for not following COVID-19 protocols, then we are letting some really good shaming go to waste. Okay, I said this from the beginning. Folks who don't want to wear masks, folks who are still having gatherings and not social distancing, they need to be shamed. We shouldn't feel any remorse or any empathy towards them because they don't have any remorse or empathy towards anyone else. Because if they did, they would be taking proper precautions to protect others. So Pete Davidson did what any good comedian would do. He roasted their ass. Let's go to SNL Weekend Update for the report, please.
I saw the protest. People were outside the bar shouting about freedom, taunting the cops, chanting that they should arrest the governor. But it's Staten Island, so I assumed that it was just like a typical last call.
And are you against these protests?
I mean, kind of, but I'm also just happy I'm no longer the first thing people think of when they say, what's the worst thing about Staten Island?
What exactly were they protesting?
Well, the bar, shockingly, is in a neighborhood with the second highest COVID infections in all of New York. So the rule is that they're supposed to let people eat or drink outside. And the owner said no one wants to do that because they'll go out of business. One guy at the protest even gave a speech where he literally compared not being able to drink indoors to being Jewish during the Holocaust.
My God.
Which must have been awkward for the people there who had to suddenly pretend they believed in the Holocaust.
Dropping a clue bombs for Pete Davidson. Okay. Now, John Tobacco took umbrage. He took offense. He was annoyed. He took exception. I'm trying to use bigger words since I'm now a senior executive at iHeart. He took exception to what Pete Davidson said, okay? Now, keep in mind, there are a lot of stereotypes about folks from Staten Island. I'm not from Staten Island, but what I will say, a lot of the people I've met from Staten Island kind of fit some of these stereotypes. Met a guy recently from Staten Island. He wanted to buy a property of mine. He had a black leather jacket on. He had slick back hair, and he wanted to do business without a broker. Okay, all I'm going to say is he reinforced one of the stereotypes of Staten Islanders, and that is that Staten Island guys spend more time on their hair than girls. Relax, okay? He also reinforced the stereotype that everyone in Staten Island is addicted to tanning, okay? Hey, guys, relax. You know who else reinforced those stereotypes? John Tobacco. Or as he's called in Staten Island, Johnny Tobacco. Now, hey, guys, relax. All right. Now, would you like to hear what he had to say in response to Pete Davidson actually looking out for his community by calling out the disregard for other folks' health that Mac's public house bar is showing? Let's listen.
I'm not part of the legal team. I'm just someone who's concerned about watching our rights and freedoms get taken away from us. And I kind of almost feel like, the ignorance level is so high now that you have mega millionaires who are on the national spotlight, like the folks on Saturday Night Live. Instead of coming down here as fellow Staten Islanders and standing up for them and bringing a positive light to this thing, what they want to do is go on national TV and try to humiliate the little man when he's down. And to me, that's quite disgusting. And as I mentioned before, my dad was a member of the NYPD. The king of Staten Island's dad was a proud fireman and a great friend of mine. And I saw Staten Islanders heavily come out and support him, his mom, his family, and everyone else in a time of need after 9/11 when I cried for his father. So when I hear stuff like this, it hits me emotionally when I think, wow, if you came out of your perch in your affluent neighborhood and came down here and told the liberal left this is a good thing because it's about our freedom and liberty, we probably wouldn't be standing here today talking about a political prisoner who was the victim of, in my view, a political ambush.
What? First of all, Johnny Tobacco's criticism of Pete Davidson makes one of the Staten Island stereotypes null and void. See, I was always told that Staten Islanders are the only ones who can complain about Staten Island. Pete is from Staten Island. He had a complaint, and a valid one, at this bar in Staten Island. Okay, he had a valid complaint. This bar in Staten Island isn't being targeted. Okay, Danny Presti isn't a political prisoner. Nobody's freedom and liberty is at stake. It's about keeping people healthy and alive. This is happening all over the world, not just in Staten Island. Do you think you are the only bar in the world that this is happening to? This once again is reinforcing another Staten Island stereotype, and that is Staten Islanders do things their own way, no matter what. Okay, have we been sleeping on the crazy of Staten Island all these years? Is Staten Island Bronx level, Florida level nuts? I always thought it was cool that people in Staten Island think the Wu-Tang logo is their own personal bat signal, but I may have to rethink this. See, not only is John Tobacco wrong about Danny Presti being a political prisoner and this attack on the bar is some type of attack on freedom and liberty, what in the hell Does Pete's father dying in 9/11 have anything to do with this? Okay? So you were there for Pete and Amy and his family when his father died in 9/11. You're supposed to be. It's called having empathy for a public servant who lost his life defending and saving other people's lives. Just because you were there for the family, as a community should be, doesn't mean that someone from the community, Pete, can't call out folks for doing something that, guess what? Harms the community. You mad at Pete saying he said things that hurt the community of Staten Island? No. What's hurting the community of Staten Island is reopening a bar in violation of state-mandated COVID-19 protocols. Throwing caution to the wind. This actually proves that everyone in Staten Island is not actually from Brooklyn, because Brooklyn spreads love. Staten Island spreads corona. The neighborhood where this bar is located has the second highest COVID rate in New York State. I repeat, the neighborhood where this bar is located has the second highest COVID rate in New York State. Okay? The state mandates that have been issued to this bar are protecting you all from yourself. Look, Johnny Tobacco, I know that Staten Islanders are tired of getting no respect, but understand we do respect you. We just don't respect stupid. Okay? And that's what Donkey Today is all about. Giving people the credit they deserve for being stupid. And today, you earned it. Please let Remy Ma give Johnny Tobacco the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
You see Johnny right here.
You're definitely going to be calling Mooley later on today.
I don't even know what that means.
I
don't even know what that means.
I just know what they call black people. That's what they called this when I was in high school.
Okay.
All right.
Up next, thank you for that donkey today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hey, yo, don't be calling me that.
Don't appropriate Staten Island culture. Could you stop?
Disrespectful.
All right?
Oh, now it's disrespectful for me. All right, up next, Zuri Hall will be joining us.
Zuri Hall, my partner Zuri.
All right, we're going to kick it with Zuri Hall next when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. JNV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest on the line this morning. We have Zuri Hall. Welcome.
Thank you. What's up?
Good morning, loved one. What's happening?
All is well. I'm really not all the way awake right now because I'm in Los Angeles and I haven't been up before the sun in probably like 5 years.
Oh, you're not an early bird at all, huh, Zuri?
No. I'm more of a night owl, but for The Breakfast Club, I couldn't wait.
So if you don't know, people who don't know who Zuri Hall is, explain to them who you are and what you do so they're up to speed.
Yeah, so I am an entertainment news host. I am with Access Hollywood. I'm also the sideline reporter on NBC's American Ninja Warrior. I've been in entertainment news for probably 6 or 7 years now. Mm-hmm. I was at MTV for a minute, which is where I first met Charlamagne, and then we were on MTV2's Uncommon Sense together. He was generous enough to allow me to share the screen with him on that show, and that's how we first got to know each other. And then after MTV, I went to E! News for a little while, and I was there for probably like 4 or 5 years doing all of the Hollywood entertainment red carpet coverage, and now I'm at Access Hollywood. And yeah, I've got my hands full. Now we've got the podcast too with The Black Effect.
All right,
I have you met
about the podcast.
Now, Zuri, did you know you wanted to get into TV when you were younger?
Yeah, I always knew that I wanted to be on stage. My first love was acting. So I actually grew up in Children's Theater Workshop, like 5 years old. I remember memorizing my first set of lines, and I used to walk to the library and like camp out in the theater aisle and read how to like make a headshot or how to get your resume and all these things because I'm from Toledo, Ohio. So it was quite the journey to get to the coast.
What were those lines when you were 5?
I don't remember those lines.
What was the play?
30 years ago.
You don't remember what it was? Like what was the
I remember I had 2 pigtails. I was in Rip Van Winkle. I was in a production of Rip Van Winkle. I think that was my debut at 5 years old.
Oh, that's the connection. Because Charlamagne, that was like part of your rap name.
That was Charlamagne's rap name.
Wait, what? I'd rather talk about that than me at 5 years old.
No, my rap name used to be Dizzy Van Winkle. Yes.
And he had 2 pigtails also.
Never had any pigtails.
He did, and lipstick.
I'm sure you would wear them well. So wait, you asking me for lines? Give me something. What was Dizzy Van Winkle talking about?
I used to steal other people's raps, so I would rap like a Phife Dawg verse and act like it was mine, or rap like a Redman verse and act like it was mine.
And assume no one would ever catch on.
Assume nobody would catch on. As if Tribe Called Quest and Redman weren't gold and platinum artists.
Right.
Exactly. But you went to college too, though. You went to Ohio State.
Yes, I did.
So what was your major?
I was on a full ride at Ohio State, the Ohio State University. Thank you very much.
You had a full ride.
Full ride, yeah. Full ride through junior high, high school, and college. We're all academic scholarships. Yeah. So
you went to school with where there's not a lot of Black people?
Oh my God. So there were, I think, 4 Black people. Granted, it's important to know my entire graduating class was like 36 people. And we were all going to school together for like 6 years. But yeah, by the time I graduated, I was the only Black girl in my class. And I think I was that only Black girl for at least 3 of my 4 high school years.
How did that impact you psychologically?
Yeah. I mean, it impacted me a lot. In one sense, like we talk a lot about code switching, right? And so that was something that had to learn how to do from a very early age. And I didn't feel like I fit in totally because I didn't. I was the only Black girl in the class. And yet I was learning to operate in these other spaces that when I came home looked nothing like, what I was used to. I remember it was the first time that I realized the difference between kind of the haves and the have-nots, right? And so I'm living in between these 2 spaces and I'm like, hold up, this isn't adding up. I remember one time, one of my white girlfriends, her mom gave me a ride back home and her little brother was in the car with us. And as we left my school's neighborhood and kind of headed back into the inner city, the roads got bumpier. I never thought about that in my life. I was like, roads are bumpy. And the little boy was like, Mom, why are the roads so bumpy and why are there so many holes in the streets here? And he's a kid. He's not thinking about it at all. But then I, as maybe a 12 or a 13-year-old, hadn't thought about it either. And I'm like, well, shoot, why are they so bumpy? Why is there even a difference? It was the first time I realized that his experience driving home was not the same as mine because, our lifestyles weren't the same.
How did being around all those white people affect your rhythm?
Your rhythm? Can you dance? Can you not dance? Is that what he's saying?
First of all, the fact that if I answer this, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't, right? Like the fact that you have to be like, I have rhythm is an automatic, nah, she can't, I don't want to see it. I think I am great. Thank you very much. I dance, I go out, I live my life. I don't know, Charlamagne. I don't think about, yes, I have rhythm. What are you saying?
Now, the reason I keep asking about your past is simply because I want people to know Zuri Halls don't happen overnight. You were intentional about what it is you wanted to do. What was your major in college?
I majored in strategic communication with a focus on mass external audiences, and I minored in theater.
And how did that help you now?
It helped me because I've been learning how to craft a message since I was 18 years old. I've always wanted to be in entertainment, but I knew if I wasn't going to be in entertainment news, my backup plan would be maybe I do publicity or PR or marketing in the space. And as a communicator, as a storyteller, like I used to write competitively. I've got rhythm. You should have asked if I had friends because I was like such a nerd in high school. And so we would actually have, it was called Power of the Pen. There was a state competition. I ended up with first place at state finals where you're writing competitively, timed, given prompts, etc. So that was what was on my heart from an early age. And strategic communication to me was just kind of that next professional step. It's like, okay, now I know how to tell a story. How do I tell it to the masses in a way that relates to them? Mm-hmm. So that kind of set me up for the fact that I tell stories for a living now. It might look differently. I spent a year in Dallas, Texas, anchoring the evening news. So those were the hardest stories that I ever had to tell. You're reporting on death, destruction. I won my first Emmy in Indiana.
I see you back there stunting. I see it.
Little low-key flex, just like a gentle one in the corner. But yeah, so I think that's how it prepared me. School was me figuring out who I was, what I had to say, and who I thought might want to hear it. And then just getting comfortable with owning that voice. Like I'm very well aware that sometimes because of my upbringing, my perspective might differ a little bit from others, but just owning who I am and owning who I'm not has really been the key to sharing my story in a way that resonates with people. So that's what I aim to do now.
All right, we have more with Zuri Hall when we come back.
And make sure you subscribe to Zuri Hall's podcast, Hot Happy Mess, on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, and salute the Molson Coors. Okay, you know them for their brands like Coors Light, Miller Lite, Blue Moon, and Vizzy Seltzer. We're excited to be collaborating with brands like Molson Coors on the Black Effect podcast network.
Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Still kicking it with Zuri Hall. Yeah.
Now, I saw you were talking about imposter syndrome, which is something that I've been discussing a lot lately, too, as a Black woman entrepreneur. So I wanted to address that with you, what imposter syndrome is and your thoughts on it.
Imposter syndrome is just this idea that we don't belong, right? That, okay, I've gotten into this room, I've gotten into this space, but I'm not supposed to be here. And at some point, they're going to realize. It doesn't matter if it's a job that you get, if it's a social situation that you somehow end up in. It's this idea that you're an imposter. And it is very often based on the lies we tell ourselves. You know, I said in a recent episode of Hot Happy Mess that we carry our insecurities into our opportunities. And I have certainly done that in the past. I'm working on it. I do it much less now. Like even Charlamagne, like I kind of opened up to you a little bit about this earlier in the year when I was at MTV. Like I felt a lot of that. And it really starts to chip away, not just at your confidence, but at your performance.
That's where you up too in TV, because instead of showing up as your true authentic self, you start being what you think the producer wants or the EP wants. So you're not even being yourself. And so you're not giving your best performance because it's not you. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And to your point, which is so right, it comes into you also knowing who you are. And so for me, my 20s was that journey. I didn't know who I was outside of a high achieving, high performing person until probably my late 20s, early 30s. And that was the first time that I had to sit with myself and say, okay, you have achieved, you've checked a lot of boxes, but you're not as happy as you could be. And everywhere you go, you kind of feel that, if not imposter syndrome, that who do I need to be to thrive here? And I stopped asking myself that question a few years ago and decided I am who I am. So let me go find and seek out opportunities that help serve that and that celebrate that. So what are my core values? What do I prioritize? Who am I proud to be? I'm proud to be Joe's and Valencia's daughter. I'm proud of the Ohio girl that I am. And I want to be in spaces where I can be that, where I don't have to play that down. And it made me realize I was going to have to say no to a lot of stuff and I was going to have to walk away from things. But what I walked into was more purpose and peace, because I was no longer showing up for people who drained me, for shows that didn't inspire me. And so I was just happier, and that resonates. That shows on camera, it shows on screen.
What got you to that point? Was it a
it's interesting because
was it a therapist? Was it a friend? What got you to that point where you felt like I can be that free?
It was therapy, and it was being so miserable that I couldn't take it anymore. I was in a job that for a long time I had loved a lot, but I got to a certain point where I was crying every day. I was exhausted. I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel understood. It was like the things that I brought to the table were no longer a priority in those spaces, in certain spaces, and that's okay. But I was still trying to show up as whatever that new thing was, that new energy was that they wanted. And at a certain point, I was like, I don't want to have to be anything other than what I am. And I am so miserable faking it that I would rather do nothing than keep doing this in the way that I am. So being that fed up that I had to seek a change. And then through therapy, I was able to realize, what are my core values? Integrity, family, work ethic. I appreciate being in spaces where hard work is appreciated and celebrated. And so as I realized who I was, I could realize what I needed to be doing and who I needed to be doing it with. And that was really the key to it all.
Gotcha.
So Zuri, what happened after college? What was the first gig out of college?
I just get so stressed every time you ask a question specifically, because it always seems so chill at first. And then I have this bad habit of taking the bait. Like anytime I'm on Brilliant Idiots, I just go hide for the first week after, because I reveal too much. And my mom is calling me like, well, I didn't know that you did it. And I'm just like, never again.
No, when I posted your podcast the other day, somebody was like, is her first guest going to be uncircumcised or circumcised?
Oh my God, can we not? Please, Charlamagne, please.
Now you got to explain.
No, we don't have to explain. Inside joke.
No, it was on your podcast.
Inside joke. After college. After college, I won a competition to be the face of a local TV station in Indianapolis, and then that was my baptism by fire. So it was a top 25 market. I learned how to edit footage, how to shoot footage myself. I learned how to produce for the first time. And that I really credit to my career, because I learned how to be more than, a talking head. I was telling stories. I was producing them start to finish. I was pitching stories in the newsroom. And then I just kind of climbed the local news market. So I was in Dayton for a while. I was anchoring the evening news in Dallas, Texas. And I was the weather girl there too. So that was a little bit bizarre. And then I moved to New York. My goal was national by 25. And then that happened. I got my first job offer for a cable channel. It was Fuse at the time at 24.
So you moved to New York for Fuse?
Yeah, I went to New York for Fuse, and then I was there for a year, and then MTV was interested. So I headed over to MTV, and then the rest was history. E! News came after that, moved to LA, and never looked back.
When I saw Zuri at MTV, just having conversations with Zuri, I'm like, yo, that's what I want to be the other host of Uncommon Sense. And me and Zuri actually shot the pilot together for Uncommon Sense, and then she did one episode and then bounced to go to E!
No, okay. That is not how it went down.
That's exactly how it went.
Well, it is technically how it went down, actually. I was at a point at MTV where I was like, well, what am I doing? Like, what is for me here? I was looking for that space. And then what kind of kills me was, the MTV2 opportunity came on the scene. I met you. You were really advocating for me, and I so appreciated it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making headway here at MTV, and it feels really good. But by that point, I had already been planting the LA seeds. And then, as soon as I was getting excited about staying in New York and doing Uncommon Sense and being with MTV, he was like, are you sure you don't want to come out here? And I was like, that was always my next goal. So it came a few years earlier than I had expected. So it kind of felt like a now or never moment.
Because you, Deedra Samara, was the original cast of Uncommon Sense.
Right, which is so crazy when I think about just how far everyone has come since then. And then when I see them, oh my God, it makes me so happy.
Another fun fact, my parting gift to Zuri when she left to go to E! was one of the bottles of Dom Perignon that Drake gave me.
You re-gifted?
Yes, right.
Yes, he re-gifted. And I had my bottle. It was hood rich because I was on the train for sure with a bottle of Dom, holding on to the pole with my other hand, trying to get home to Harlem. And they were like, what is this girl doing with a bottle of Dom on the train?
Define hot, happy mess. What does it mean to be a hot, happy mess?
A hot, happy mess. Hot, happy mess is all about celebrating your magic in the middle of life's messes. I spent all of my 20s putting off the living for later. I'm not going to go on summer vacation with y'all. I'm not going to go on that spring break trip because I'm hustling, because I'm interning. I'm whatever. Whatever. But this is about saying we can't do that anymore. We can't put off our living for tomorrow. So the most we can do is celebrate and find the magic in the middle of what we have. And that means embracing the hot, the happy, and the mess of your life at the same time. I love my 20s. They made me who I am. I am living a great life because of the sacrifices I made then. But now I am more obsessed with, more preoccupied with, how do I take the time to celebrate the things that matter?
So what's next for Zuri Hall?
Another episode of Hot Happy Mess. I've been recording in my closet with a blanket on top of my head. So we're really doing big things over here, guys.
So no video, just audio.
No, we do have video. Sometimes. Every now and then I'll put on some lip gloss.
With a blanket.
And yeah, just still creating content, entertainment news on Access Hollywood. So just staying busy. But Hot Happy Mess, that's it. Every Monday we've got new episodes, and we've got a lot of really exciting topics coming up. So I hope everyone gives it a listen.
Yeah, go subscribe to Hot Happy Mess. Black Effect, iHeartRadio Podcast Network, available everywhere you listen to podcasts. I love the episode with Nedra Glover. I can't pronounce her last name.
And Nedra Glover Tawwab. Yes, like the happiness hacks that she was giving were just gold, right?
Man, that was free jewelry.
Business, which you say you have a hard time with?
Yeah, the first one. Mind your business and biting your tongue.
Yeah.
Well, Zuri, we appreciate you for checking in.
Appreciate you so much, Zuri. You are a star.
You for having me.
I love to see you shine.
I appreciate you, friends. Thank you all so much for taking the time to talk a little bit with me. I really appreciate it.
And follow Zuri on all platforms at Zuri Hall.
That's right. It's Zuri Hall. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
We'll be right back.